This is episode number 260 of the Middle Country Public Library podcast. Hello and welcome. Sal DiVincenzo here with my fabulous colleague, Sara Fade.
Hello.
How are you, Sara?
Good.
We are back from Podfest.
Yes.
It was a great show.
It was.
Great
it was
conference,
very good.
and very excited about a lot of the things that we found out this year. I think the educational component this year of Podfest was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone from Podfest is listening, because I know we had a little bit of a bump there in our subscribership, it was nice to meet you, and it was a great show, and hope to see you next year. And we brought back a lot of things that we're going to be announcing upcoming, but I wanted to mention one thing in housekeeping that is related to this, to the Podfest, the podcast, and all this good stuff. So we mentioned a couple of weeks ago the innovation space. Mm-hmm. There is an update, which we will put in the show notes. But patrons will now be able to drop in for about 20 hours per week to our innovation space. And we'll put the link where you can see where the drop-in times are. So as long as it's a drop-in time, you can come in and check out all the great things that we have in the innovation space. The 3D printers, the large format printers, the sublimation, all that kind of stuff. Additionally, there's going to be videos put online for folks to take a look at, so they can see how to do certain things and what each item in the makerspace does. There's also a dedicated page on our website. It's mcplibrary.org/innovation-space. Go there and you can see some really great things there as well. We are not quite there yet with the recording studio, with the podcast media studio. And, to just be very transparent, the reason is that when we set this up, we realized when we did a couple of tests in there that we needed a little more sound baffling. So we are in the process of installing better acoustic tiles in there. Mm-hmm. And then once those are done, then we'll open up the appointments. You'll be able to make an appointment on the website to use the podcasting space. And very shortly, we will announce training seminars that we will have in order for patrons to come down and take a little training course in how to use our fabulous equipment that we have down there. I will be teaching that to you. And then once you're certified in that respect, you'll be able to make an appointment and come down and use the space. And quite frankly, save a ton of money being able to use the space. Because while we were in Podfest, we found out how much places are charging for podcasting equipment and podcasting studio time. And you're going to be making out very well here. So it's going to be very popular. So we promise to keep you posted when that goes up. But very excited about the podcast studio downstairs and the media studio. And it's going to be great. So check our show notes for all the details regarding the innovation space open time, which is it's open now. So yeah, come on down, check us out. Some convenient times there for you to come down. That's it for housekeeping. We have a great show for you this week. We're going to start off with Sara, who's got some new books.
Yes, I like to call this new book roulette. I just picked some books, and I'm going to tell you about them. We try to keep our new book selection, anything that we've gotten in the last 6 months. So the first book I pulled is called Body Language, Writers on Identity, Physicality, and Making Space for Ourselves. And it is a nonfiction book. And it says bodies are serious, irreverent, sexy, fragile, strong, political, and inseparable from our experiences and identities as human beings. Pushing the dialogue and confronting monolithic myths, this collection of essays tackles topics like weight, disability, desire, fertility, illness, and embodied experience of race in deep and challenging ways. So this is like a collection of essays. So, I think it's bite-sized thinking pieces. Might be nice. The other book I pulled is called The Dog Behavior Answer Book.
Oh, this is right up your alley, Sara.
Yeah, well, I already know dog behavior, so. But I'm no expert, so you are right. It is always good to learn about your dog, new or old. Also nonfiction, so understanding and communicating with your dog to build a strong and happy relationship. Some of the things they have here is, our dog seems to sense our moods. Can a dog be a therapist? Answer on page 22. How do I stop my golden retriever from licking me all the time? Page 63, which is very interesting because I am fostering a dog that has that same issue and is very disgusting.
Interesting.
And annoying. My dog goes ballistic when he hears the doorbell. How do I get him to calm down? Answer on page 84. So there's a lot of different dog behaviors in here that they address and hopefully can help you with your puppy. The other thing I have, let's see, nonfiction book I pulled was Attracting Garden Pollinators by Jean Vernon. So enter into the wonderful world of garden pollinators and learn more about these fascinating and essential creatures. Learn simple ways a gardener can support and attract these garden pollinators and meet some of the surprising and fascinating pollinators in your garden. So it'll help you plant certain plants.
That's a nice looking book. Nice illustrations in there. Yep. Photos. Very good.
Thin. So I have some fiction books here now that I pulled. Leonard Cohen. He wrote a book called A Ballet of Lepers, a novel and stories.
Is this the Leonard Cohen?
Yeah, a never-before published early novel and stories by the legendary musician, songwriter, and poet Leonard Cohen. So that is good if you are a fan of him.
Yeah.
Then we have Bookish People, a novel by Suzanne Cole. And independent bookstore owner Sophie Bernstein is burned out on books. Mourning the death of her husband, the loss of her favorite manager, her only child's lack of aspiration, and the grim state of the world, she fantasizes about going into hiding in the secret back room of her store. Bum, 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 bum.
Everybody should have a secret back room.
Yeah. This big-hearted screwball comedy, despite that previous paragraph, this big-hearted screwball comedy features an intergenerational cast of oblivious authors and overqualified booksellers, as well as a Russian tortoise named Kurt Vonnegut Jr., and captures the endearing quirks of some of the best kinds of people, the ones who love good books.
Neat.
Yeah. And then we have Alex White wrote this book called August Kitco and the Mechas from Space. And it's in nice, bright colors.
Can't miss that.
Yeah. So this is a fantasy book. So when an army of giant robot AIs threatens to devastate Earth, a musician becomes humanity's last hope in this glam-packed new space opera from the author of A Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe.
Nothing like a good space opera.
That's right. There's a very popular genre in science fiction. The next book I pulled randomly is called Secluded Cabin Sleep 6, a novel by Lisa Unger. Secluded Cabin Sleep 6 is a deliciously tense ride that takes a deep dive into the meaning of family and the price we'll pay for those we love.
Oh boy.
Yep. 3 couples rent a luxury cabin in the woods for a weekend getaway to die for in this chilling locked room thriller. Bum, bum, bum. But Lisa Unger, she is a well-known author, so people who have read her previous books, we have a new one for you.
Fantastic.
Yep.
And those are just 7 of our very large new books collection. Mm-hmm. And you can find that right in the center of the adult department on the reading floor in our recently newly renovated space. So you can't miss them when you go in. It's around the ottoman.
Yes.
Kids love the ottoman.
Oh, yeah. And the adult librarians love to watch the kids jump on the ottoman and go, oh, God, stop.
Well, thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
It is February. Already we're in February, and it is Black History Month. And I thought that I would kick off Black History Month talking about music.
Okay.
It's close to my heart. This is from Point Blank Music School's blog.
Okay.
James Cook wrote this article. It's Black History Month, Black Artists that Redefined Music. Okay, and I'm going to pick the artists that we have from this list. Their CDs or LPs here at the library.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you about the artist, and then I will tell you what I suggest you take out here at the library. So first is Nina Simone. Sure, you've heard of Nina Simone. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life, and Nina Simone's music still has us feeling good. So she was born in 1933. It's kind of a jazzy, a jazz artist, but she did go do pop songs as well, and of course blues. Mm-hmm. And definitely has the most unique and powerful voice in music history. So her tracks, I'm sure you've heard these. I Put a Spell on You, Feeling Good, Ain't Got No, I Got Life. She was one of the greatest singer-songwriters of all time. I chose here in our collection, if you want to listen to Nina Simone, Pastel Blues. Okay, so this is a more subdued album. It's from the mid-'60s. And the most impressive track on this album is the 10-minute rendition of Sinner Man. So we'll have that here for you. Again, Nina Simone, Pastel Blues. This next artist, I'm sure you've heard of. Very prolific throughout his career. Unfortunately, we lost him way too soon, and that is Prince. Prince entered the music scene in the mid-1970s and immediately shook it to its core. He played all the instruments on his debut album, Sarah.
I believe that.
Which was For You. Then he was followed up with Dirty Mind, 1999, Purple Rain, and Sign of the Times. One of the most diverse artists of all time, Prince created genre-defying music that flowed seamlessly through a never-ending variety of styles, most notably pop, funk, soul, rock, psychedelia, and R&B. Do you remember when he did the Super Bowl halftime show? One of the best.
No.
Absolutely fantastic. Oh, you missed it. But I chose from our collection Purple Rain, classic album. Well, soundtrack from the movie. It has songs such as Let's Go Crazy, When Doves Cry, I Would Die For You, and Purple Rain. All amazing songs, as well as the other stuff on there. So he's always done very well with that. So Prince is definitely worthy of this list, by no doubt. Aretha Franklin. You all know Aretha Franklin. She's considered the quote-unquote queen of soul, and she created an infectious fusion of gospel roots, jazz, blues, and R&B. Her notable hits like Respect, A Natural Woman, Chain of Fools, Ain't No Way only scratch the surface of her legendary discography. She had 112 Billboard charting singles, including 77 Hot 100 singles, 17 top 10 pop singles, 100 R&B singles, and 20 number one R&B singles. I chose Aretha. All her hits are on here, so definitely check that one out. How about this? Jimi Hendrix. Though his career was short-lived, Jimi Hendrix revolutionized guitar playing forever. Regarded as one of the most influential electric guitarists of all time, Hendrix brought a power and emotion to his playing that hadn't been heard before. Of course, we know the song Purple Haze. We know Foxy Lady. An album that I suggest from our collection, Live in Maui. He's amazing, amazing live. It's got, obviously, Foxy Lady's on here. Hey Baby. Lover Man is on here. It's a 2-disc set. It's very cool. So you check that out from our collection, Live in Maui by Jimi Hendrix.
Nice.
Billie Holiday. Born in 1915, Billie Holiday persevered through great personal adversity to become one of the greatest jazz singers of all time. Her vocal improvisations, phrasing, tonal variation, and vibrato pioneered a new singing technique that was embraced by similar singers throughout the 20th century. So the CD that I selected for Billie Holiday is Lady in Autumn, the best of the Verve years. Also a double CD. Great stuff on here as well. April in Paris. Oh my goodness, I love that song, April in Paris. A Body and Soul, Stormy Weather. I mean, some of the stuff you've heard of, some of the stuff you might not have. So definitely take that out. Stevie Wonder. Oh, Stevie Wonder. I love Stevie Wonder. Born in 1950, Stevie Wonder was already singing with Motown Records and mastering the piano, bass, drums, and harmonica at just 11 years old. And at age 13, he earned his first number one hit on the Billboard Hot 100 with Fingertips. Of course, his musical genius is evident in his hits like Superstition, Higher Ground, Isn't She Lovely? 100 million records sold worldwide. He's got an Oscar and 25 Grammy Awards. If you want to hear some of those amazing songs, I selected the original Musiquarium 1 in our collection. You know, you're going to have Superstition on here. You're going to have You Are the Sunshine of My Life, Ribbon in the Sky. What a great song. Ribbon in the Sky, Higher Ground, Sir Duke, Master Blaster, I Wish, it all on there. Stevie Wonder is absolutely amazing, and if you don't listen to his music, you should at least try it out. Do you remember Lauryn Hill?
I do remember Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill breaking into the music industry with a Grammy-winning group, the was it Fugees? Okay. Lauryn Hill established herself as a creative genius in her own right. Her debut solo album, which is the one I selected, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, one of the best-selling albums of all time, caused a cultural paradigm shift within the music industry, bringing hip-hop to the forefront while simultaneously challenging the genre's gender norms. And, of course, on this album, you're going to have Doo-Wop, That Thing, which is one of her big songs. And there are a couple of hidden bonus tracks on here, including Can't Take My Eyes Off of You.
Mm-hmm.
James Brown.
Oh, yeah.
James Brown, even beyond his 50-year career, James Brown, the godfather of soul, has caused generations of music lovers to get up, get on up, and groove hard. In addition to his huge funk hits, Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, Get Up, I Feel Like Being a Sex Machine, and I Got You, I Feel Good, Brown could also belt like the best of them, as he displayed in the soulful, biblically chauvinistic ballad, It's a Man's World.
Mm-hmm.
In our collection, I selected Get On Up, the James Brown story soundtrack. I'm going to have all of those songs that I mentioned, including a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great album, and you should check that out. And then finally, in my list, celebrating Black History Month musicians, Beyonce. Not a personal favorite of mine. I'm going to say that right up front.
The same. I don't like her.
However, I have to say I do have a song that I really do love by Beyonce. I will say it. Okay, I will admit it, and that is Crazy in Love, and that is from her debut album, Dangerously in Love. That song features Jay-Z, and Beyonce began her career as the lead singer of one of the best-selling girl groups of all time, Destiny's Child, and has evolved to become one of the world's best-selling recording artists. 22 years in the music industry and over 118 million records sold worldwide. Beyonce has opened doors and broken barriers for Black artists everywhere. As the most Grammy-nominated female artist of all time, the most awarded artist ever at the MTV Video Music Awards, and the first Black female headliner at Coachella, Beyonce proves her biggest and perhaps only remaining competition is with her own massive legacy, and the only song that I like was the very first one she released many, many years ago. That was 20 years ago, 2003. Amazing. So there you have it. We have those albums, those artists.
They didn't mention Michael Jackson?
They did not mention Michael Jackson in that list. I know. I would have put him up there. Maybe because the whole controversy, they felt if they had put him in there, that people.
Yeah, it was about musicians, not about your personal life.
That's true. That's true.
James Brown ain't no Prince.
I literally not Prince. And I agree with you, Sarah. But yeah, I'd put Michael Jackson in there as well. As I personally have other artists that I would put in there. I mean, Wes Montgomery.
Yeah, there's no blues people.
Wes Montgomery, Howling Wolf. I mean, there's so many of them. But anyway, we'll put that all in the show notes for you to check out. And we would greatly appreciate it if you subscribed to our YouTube channel. What are you doing? Come on, hit that subscribe button. We're so close. I think we only need like 40 more subscribers to get up there to 1,000. It's like the last 40 over the last year. I mean, I don't get it. But yeah, so hit the subscribe button and hit like, and we greatly appreciate it. And if you want to listen to older episodes or read our show notes, you can visit our website, mcplpodcast.com. Sarah, you're working on something new for our website, aren't you?
Hopefully, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So something exciting is coming up that we learned in Podfest, and Sarah's going to take it and she's going to run with it. She's going to make it fabulous because Sarah's fabulous. So we got
crawl with it, maybe. Yeah. runs a little optimistic.
So definitely keep an eye out for that. So for Sarah Fade, I'm Sal DiVincenzo. We will see you on the next show.